the true Tritagonist of One Piece? And I'm sorry Sanji fans, it's Nami. The first and most obvious reason why this is the case is that Oda said it. Oda said that Luffy, Zoro and Nami are the triggers of One Piece and the core of the story as they drive it forward. And even without this quote, it's clear from the text. Ever since the Straw Hat Pirates were established, with the Romance Dawn trio being Luffy, Zoro and Nami, that has stayed consistent throughout the rest of the arcs. For example, the East Blue, as I just said, kicks off with the Romance Dawn trio, and the next big saga starts the same way, with Zoro, Luffy and Nami meeting Vivi, finding out her secret and thinking what to do about Crocodile. Skypiea starts the same way, with them three at Jaya meeting Blackbeard. And then once again, in Enies Lobby, this trio is clearly the driving force, with Nami telling Luffy and Zoro that they need to get up and save Robin, and then them three discussing what to do on the sea train. Even with the whole situation with Usopp leaving the crew, the whole time it was being discussed, it was between the main trio, with Zoro taking one side and Nami taking the other, trying to convince Luffy what to do, because them three is the key dynamic that drives the story. This even carries on post-time sync where we see in Zou, the roles are reversed, with this time Zoro is taking the negative side and Nami taking the positive side on what to do with Sanji, and this time Luffy sides with Nami rather than Zoro. And then we see it again this arc with the final war kicking off with what? It starts with Nami, Zoro and Luffy exploring Elbaf, deciding what to do about Loki, because they are the triggers and core of the story. I've seen this discussed loads on Twitter, and it was mostly just toxic Sanji fans being salty that he isn't the third most important member of the crew. And it does seem like this is definitely a thing post-Isaac. People seem to think that strength is all that matters in One Piece. Luffy, Zoro and Sanji are the monster trio. They are the key combatants of the crew. But the narrative takes precedent above that, and the Romance Dawn trio is the driving force of the entire story. And then I even see some people saying Sanji more important because, oh, he has all this character focus and he has Whole Cake Island. But Nami was the key focus of the entire opening saga of One Piece. That is way more important than one arc in a bigger saga. I mean, Arlong Park and East Blue in a whole was literally about running around Nami's fight against Arlong. The crew truly formed after that fight with Arlong and freeing Nami. Just because it happened a long time ago doesn't mean it wasn't important. I think what really kicked off this whole thing was that there were some people arguing about whose Gaban parallel is, and yes, Gaban is the parallel to Sanji, not Nami. But parallels aren't the be-all and end-all in One Piece. Yes, they're interesting, but that is all they are. Sanji is obviously very important, but it's okay that he isn't Nami. He isn't this sort of emotional anchor for the crew and for Luffy. And to be honest, I'm a Zoro fan, and Zoro is probably the Tritagonist, but One Piece's story can't work without Luffy and Nami's dynamic. I think that is the dynamic is key to the writing, especially of early One Piece.